Three, two, one.
Thank you.
Well, hello and welcome to everyone. And I am so glad that you have all joined on this topic of random acts of kindness. And we really want everybody to unmute and participate in this so that we can network together.
Question.
Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
How we doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Just saying hi, just checking in, some days I'll be feeling great, some days I'll be feeling bad. You know how it goes.
Bryce, can you shut the fuck up? I'm trying to listen.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, so
That was a little aggressive.
a little, but we're all here to talk about how to be kind to each other and to ourselves. And so, both Christina and I are associated with the Atlantic Institute, and we do these Zooms for our own reasons and different reasons. And I happened to meet Christine in person last week, and she told me that she wanted to do these Zooms and had started it working with the Atlantic Institute to create understanding. And if we understand each other, we can better, have a better world. And so I think that we start from a place of kindness to each other. And it is,
Harry.
yes.
Harry Johnson.
Okay. Do you have something to say?
Well, I mean, you were talking about kindness, and Harry Johnson is not a definition of kindness.
Right. So let's define kindness. The, what is kindness kind of starts out with the quality of being friendly and considerate. But this takes practice, and we have to kind of know how to be kind to each other. And, the quality of being kind, yes, I actually, what I'll do is I will go ahead and wait till Christine comes back. And
Hey,
hey, Christine.
yes,
Um,
hold on a second. Go ahead.
okay, read the chats.
Yep, I got it.
Okay.
So I was thinking, I know Tosca, when we came up with this discussion on kindness. Um, Gotcha. Thanks, Tabitha. So, what if have you guys experienced an act of kindness? So, like, I'll just give you an example. Sometimes it's a completely random act of kindness. A couple years ago, I took my kids um to Waffle House to have lunch, and it was me and four kids. Two of mine are biological, and two of mine were foster kids. So I just had a done day, and I took them all to Waffle House for dinner. And come to find out, the lady goes, "Oh, well, somebody already paid your meal."
Hey, what do you get from Waffle House?
Um, so when they paid my meal, um, they um, uh, hold on one second. So when they paid my meal, I it was like, oh my gosh, like that was like so nice to have that like complete random act of kindness. There's another local restaurant we have over here that does chicken wings, and we went out to dinner one night as a whole family. And come to find out, the waitress came over and just said it's already been paid for. And I don't know, is there some unwritten rule somewhere in a Waffle House that that or some of these places that do this, so it was kind of neat, to experience that. Like, I don't know. And some people said in Waffle Houses, this happens a lot. And I don't know, is there people that know this, that, there's this little group of, people that go and they like to, be kind and pay somebody's meal. I mean, it's like $30, $40 sometimes, for some of these things. And it's just so nice to experience that act of kindness. And so sometimes we can tend to think that the world is tough and hard right now. And it is. Like right now, we're experiencing a lot of like food insecurity. I mean, the price of food, the price of fuel, the price of everything going up, that we're having to make sacrifices and make changes. So we were just kind of trying to say, it might be refreshing to talk about some acts of kindness. Like if we can share like an act of kindness. Karen Holstein, she said when she was in line at the drive-through, the car in front bought her coffee, and it really lifted her spirits. I mean, people do that. Some places now are trying to make that not possible, even, I've read. And people are like, no, that's not like, leave it. So people can do that.
Studies have shown that being kind can actually lower your anxiety and stress levels and give you a sense of well-being and strengthens our social connections.
Yeah, totally. Does anybody have a share of when somebody's done something that was kind for them? Or if they've done a random act of kindness on somebody else?
I actually can. When I started to do this Zoom, I was driving down to Orlando and I had gotten gas and my battery had died. And this car just drove up to me and asked if, I could use some help. And they got out and, helped me jump my battery. And we ended up really having a great conversation and singing Amazing Grace in the parking lot. And then further on down the road, I had left my wallet at a restaurant with money and all my credit cards, everything had in there. And I had gone about 50 miles when I discovered that and turned around and nothing was touched. They stayed till I could get back there and gave me back my wallet. And I thought that was really kind. It
Yeah, totally.
restored my faith in mankind. It was a great experience and makes me want to pass it on and do something kind for someone else because we really do need a lot of kindness in this world today. We are, the balance is kind of getting a little unbalanced. So I think that we and there's different things you can do that bring kindness to yourself. And sometimes being kind to yourself is just staying silent.
Right. Yeah.
Because I don't mean like you always have to give to be kind, because you have to be kind to yourself as well.
Yep. Yep. So yeah, very true. You were making me think of, I left a restaurant with my kids, like 2 months ago, and there was some people from out of town, or they lived in the next town over, and their battery was dead, and they were across from me. And I was like, well, do you need me to jump you? I took him at the perfect time. And somebody else was trying to help them, and they brought their little battery charger they had, but it was dead. And I will tell you, 3 times in this past 6 months, I've run into people that have had those little charger packs to jump start a car that have all been dead. And so I have my handy dandy jumper cables and pop over my hood. And I'm like, well, here, I'll help you and I'll jump your car. And they're like, oh my gosh, that's so nice. I can't believe, you're helping me. And I'm like, well, I mean, why wouldn't I help somebody that needed help? I mean, it's just kind of why wouldn't I?
The people that helped me with my battery, the amazing thing about that is you could tell that they were living out of their car and their house had burned down and the mother had died. I mean, she had a lot of problems, and still to reach out and just help me, and
Yeah.
in spite of
Well,
all health problems.
yeah, so a lot of times, so a couple of years ago, I know I was telling Tosca, there was the kindness rocks. They were a very big thing. I don't know if anybody, like, you can raise a hand if you remember reading about the kindness rocks or seeing the kindness rocks. So they were a very big thing. It was a very big movement. And I will tell you, it was in about 2017 to help spread kindness. All right. So we as Atlantic Institute got a whole bunch of kindness. No, we're not gonna get a whole bunch of kindness. We got a whole bunch of rocks. I was sorry, Lynn, I was reading your message as you. So we got a whole bunch of rocks and we had people come over and we had a story read for the children. There was a local author that had a story. I forget what it was. And she read it. And then we all went and we all painted kindness rocks. And then we went ahead and put them around the community. You know, and for a while, sometimes there's some of those rocks that have hashtags on them that if you go to Facebook and you pull up the hashtag, you can mark where you found it. And so somebody takes it and then you can follow the trail of the kindness rock. And I even still have one of those rocks. Let me grab it real quick. It's actually outside my door to the house. And every time I clean up the yard, I always leave it here. I'm going to see if you can see it. So this is our kindness rock. You can't see it very well, but it says stay positive and it has 2 hearts on it. And so this actually sits outside of my house, about outside my door. I'm curious if I stick it on like a black, if I unblur for a second. And if I stick it like on some kind of darker background. Yeah, so what the kids did is they dripped paint, you know, and it swirled it all around. They did like a drip paint thing. And then they wrote stay positive on it with hearts. And so I actually always keep this right outside the left side of my door in the house. So if I look down and I see it, it reminds me to stay positive. You know, I just always have this memory of like, I have this positive energy at the door to kind of like help keep all the negative that we could bring in out of the house, you know, whether that always works all the time or not. I mean, you know, but it's there to help as a reminder, as a constant reminder. So Tosca, do you have anything? I'm going to share my screen. Did anybody have something? Okay, so Lynn said she prefers to text. But she says, but to add to this conversation, my partner and I truly think of the feelings of the others when we do things, and it triples the enjoyment of our relationship. It's so easy to do that. All right, so it definitely does.
And if you want to know how to make those rocks, you know, you get the rock and you wash it and then you paint it with acrylic paint and let it dry and then paint the rock. Paint the rock and then add your designer the inspirational quote and let it dry and then you seal it and then you spread the kindness. You leave them all over wherever for yourself or anyone.
And it's almost something that I think needs to probably come back. Like starting to do kindness, just kind gestures or something like kindness rocks or something needs probably needs to resurface again, because right now we have a lot of people that have issues and hatred towards others just because they are a different faith or a different culture. And it's kind of good to remember sometimes those little acts of kindness, they go a long way. Yes. And Tabitha, remember those PSAs about being kind? Yes. We've had those too. So I'm gonna so what I'd like to try to do is challenge you all to come up with something that helps to spread kindness. All right. So it can be something really simple. So I live in a really small town and it's kind of cool to see what people do for Easter around here. So a lot of the different stores will take 15 eggs or something and they'll stuff them with little coupons or little trinkets or tokens, and they will hide them around town. And they'll say, all right, I've hidden eggs around town, find them. And sometimes they has a coupon for in there. It says something kind. It does something that kind of like makes you feel good. Like you found an egg, you open it up and it's got like a surprise in there just for you. So, I mean, and I know for many Christians in here, Easter's tomorrow and it's over, but there's nothing against you taking some of those leftover eggs and write some nice little thoughts in them and just leave them in certain places. I mean, I've even seen people do sticky notes and they put them on the cereal box at the store, at the grocery store, and say, hey, I hope you have a great day. You know, and so sometimes even those little tiny pieces of kindness go a long way. So I was showing Tosca in I'm going to share my screen because I was trying to find the Kindness Rocks picture event that we did. And I couldn't go back that far. But as I was looking at a lot of these pictures on our Facebook, And this was literally 15 minutes ago, so there's nothing I could do to have organized this better, just because I just thought of it. I thought I'd show you a couple of different things that we have done over the years, because sometimes, you know, you don't need an organization to get you involved in doing something. Sometimes you can just come up with an idea and do it yourself. All right, so I just want to show you, and I think down here, this is I know this was like the last trip we did before COVID. All right, so look, I just want to show you over here. We did this project called Sweet Dreams. And so this was before COVID. And this was, we had a bunch of white pillowcases that we got, we bought them from somewhere, I forget where. All right, and like Tabitha, since you're one of our IDCs on here, if this is something that you think you want to create a program and do, you can, and we can help support that. All right, so and Tosca too. So we found pillowcases and we got items donated to us. We got volunteers from churches and mosques and synagogues to all come together, and we decorated the pillowcases, and we had an assembly line here for everybody that had the pillowcases. We had all these donated items. This is a foster agency person that came, and he did a little skit with us on what it's like to be a kid in foster care. And so this was a neat kind of skit that he did with us, that for everybody that was there, that volunteering, to kind of understand what the kids in foster care go through. And so we had all kinds of things donated: blankets, binders, toiletries, pens, race cars, all kinds of little things. And we stuffed them all into a pillowcase. We went shopping. Everybody got a pillowcase, decorated it, and then went down the line and went shopping and filled it with items for a kid that was just coming into foster care. And then so this is one of them that was decorated. This was another one that was decorated. And I came up with this because I'm a foster parent, or I've been a foster parent. And so I know sometimes when that kid comes into your home, it's usually towards the evening time, and they feel very out of place, as nothing is theirs. And like, one of the most important things that is there for you is like when you go to bed at night, like they could put this pillowcase on their pillow and that's theirs, you know? And so it was kind of like an important thing of something for them to have that very night that was theirs, that they could keep forever. Because they could keep a pillowcase forever. They could use it to put clothes in. They could use it for whatever they needed to later on. You know, I know some of my foster kids use pillowcases to go trick-or-treating in, you know, during Halloween. So so I had a whole bunch of kids decorate pillowcases, and families came together and decorated pillowcases, came up with all different kinds of things to put on them. And some made them really cute and pretty. Some, you know, some just had words on them. And then they wrote a little card and put a little card in there. And so this was the flyer we did for it. And we asked a couple questions to kind of bring everybody together that was there. And this was the pillowcase project. And then so that was our welcome to it. And so this was some of the stuff that we had, like, that was donated. So we found quite a few places would donate books and crayons and markers, and we even had some for little kids. We had some that donated little kids items and stuff like that. And so we organized them all out in tables, and stuffed animals. A stuffed animal went in every bag, and you know, they got this great thing. All right, so that was a neat thing. So I'm going to show you. This is something that. Any feedback or thoughts on that before I jump to this?
I
Okay,
think that's a wonderful idea.
so I just want to see. It's a nice idea. I know I didn't cut. Justin said he changed a lady's flat tire. Oops, sorry. One night at a seedy gas station, she comes rolling in on the rim. I felt like she needed help, so I simply offered my assistance. I told her she did not want to be sitting around waiting for hours, so she agreed. I just started cleaning out the trunk, and she was standing behind me while I worked. So there I am chatting away while I worked on it. So I get the spare snugly, and I'm lowering the jack, and I noticed she was not behind me all the while. I was just blathering on and on about randomness in life, philosophizing away. but she had gone inside the store. It was kind of funny, but what she did was she went in and withdrew $50 from the ATM for me. She comes out and hands it to me, and I absolutely would not accept the money. She absolutely made my day. It was so nice. Absolutely. Currently, right now outside, I have a 22-year-old that is here helping work, and he's helping us get some chores done. And in exchange, I give him rides to his work and rides to the store and rides to whatever he needs a ride to that helps him. So it's kind of like a way we can exchange kindness. Because I am all about bartering. So this is something that was really neat. This is something on a big scale. This is something you can approach, Chamber of Commerce or something like that. This was pre-COVID. All right. This was Grateful Greenville. So this is what the city of Greenville came up with. And a couple organizations came together. And this was the week before Thanksgiving. And restaurants donated food. So everything was serve safe, fine. Restaurants donated all of the Thanksgiving fixings for things. And then everybody went down, you registered, and then everybody went down the line and they filled their plates up. So we had a prayer and a beginning, a song, a prayer, something spiritual said. And then these were the sponsors for the event. And then this was everybody going down the line, getting a meal. And so these are my kids when they were little, back when they were little. Then they had some music there for everybody to have entertainment. That's some of the food that was my plate. So that was some of the food they had. This is the table setting. So what they did is we have a Unity Bridge in Greenville. And so they closed the bridge for the day or for that time, like that morning time. And they set up tables and chairs out on the bridge, and they set it very nicely. And they had volunteers. Home Depot donated all of the, I'm going to say smocks. I forget what the word is. Home Depot donated all of these. And these volunteers went and helped. You even had a plant-based and vegan section for those that ate plant-based and vegan. And so this was like desserts, and this was just the whole section, and everybody came together and did food. And so that was cool. This is a different program that we did here. So I wanted to just share like some of those different things that we've done. We did a faith-build habitat house. So this is Habitat for Humanity. We organized with them doing a house build that was built by Muslims, Jews, and Christians. So it's an Abraham house is what we call it. And so this was the house that we built a couple summers ago. It's this house here in the center being built. So we built this house a couple summers ago. Every year we actually strive to go and help build a house and have an Abraham build house. So it stands for the three faiths. All right. What else was I going to show? We do a lot of different things where we bring people together. So this is our Ramadan that we've done on the plaza, our iftar dinners. So we've done dinners downtown Greenville where we've put up tables and chairs, and we have the food brought out, and we feed everybody for free outside. All the kids play, and we have tables and chairs set up like that, and we just let everybody know, come on in. And it's at the Peace Center over in Greenville. So we've done that for people as well. We just did that last week downtown. I told everybody there was free baklava to come over to the blue tent, and people just went, "Oh, free baklava! I'm coming!" And they came over to the tent.
I actually just attended the dinner for the first time last weekend, and it was just a lovely experience. It was so warm and friendly, and so many different people coming together. And the food was great, and the baklava was really good.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad I attended.
What we do in July, the month of July, is we do a tour of faiths, and I'll tell you, it's really cool. So this is when we visited the Hindu temple. And so it was really very cool to watch them, what they do and learn what they do for the Hindu, and the Hindu faith. And then they invited us to have some food. So they had some snacks for us all. We had a group from Atlantic Institute, and we got to observe them and eat some of their snacks. And we observed that faith. and that's the Vedic Center in Greenville. And then this is the Gurdwara. This is the Gurdwara in Greenville. So this is the Sikh faith. And so this is what it's like at the Sikh temple. They have a yogurt drink, they have their conversations. This is the rabbi and his wife. They came to the Sikh temple to learn about the Sikh faith. And so this was inside the Sikh temple. And we stayed for almost half the day. They kept telling us, stay, 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 because then they feed you at the end of the day. Let's see. And then this is one of the other places. Oh, this is the Greek Orthodox temple. So you see, I know this is the Greek Orthodox temple because we have baklava and Greek food. That was quite yummy. The ladies prepared us Greek food, and we got to take a look and learn about the Greek temple. And so we do this every July. It's called a tour of faith, and we've been doing it virtually because it's been tough to try to do in person. But this is another way that we try to help build bridges of understanding and share kindness with others so that we can all learn how to work together and live together. So this was a neat temple to walk around and see. And so we did that in the month of July too. There's definitely something about being in person. This is our iftar downtown with all the people coming to be able to sit down and eat. And we have volunteers that have been to a lot of our programs in the past that want to come out, and we invite everybody that's been in a program in the past to come out and to enjoy. And this would be the news showed up and interviewed people. And then this is another church. This is the Episcopal Church that we hosted an iftar dinner with them. We did so much stuff pre-COVID. This is my child, my rambunctious one here. Yeah, so this is the food. We usually provide all the food when we do an event like this at a church. So we feed the congregation as well as the visitors that we have that come. So this church has a really neat labyrinth. Believe it or not, this is a paved path labyrinth, and all the dark stones are a labyrinth on it. So we did a walk. This is one of the rabbis that I used to know that he passed away a couple years ago. But then here's some of the food that we've cooked and prepared at some of the programs we've done. This is in the Jewish synagogue. Nope, it's not. This is in First Baptist Greenville. And so we have conversations here about Ramadan, and we have an iftar. We have an iftar dinner here. So here again, we made all the food and brought it out. This is some of our. So every year we used to do an award ceremony where we would recognize people in 3 different categories, like media, peace and harmony, and another category for doing good works in their area. So we would have an award ceremony where we would have public nominations, and we would give out awards to those that did good works in their community. So this is one of those ceremonies. And we had a special guest speaker. If you ever, just a quick word, this is Race Bouillon. Okay, now if you look him up on Facebook, if you look up World Without Hate on Facebook, this man, shortly after 9/11, he's from the Sikh faith. No, I forget what faith he's from. I think he's Muslim. But he was in Texas. He was down, he was in an area in Texas that shortly after 9/11, people were retaliating against anybody that was not of the white skin color, anybody that somebody thought might have been Arab. And so they beat him and left him to die, and he's blinded now in one eye. But they caught who was doing that to him, and they prosecuted him, and Race spoke at the trial in the man's behalf for there to be some leniency, because he forgave him for the hatred that he had in his heart towards him, for the misunderstanding, for the lack of knowledge, for that he forgave him, and he actually visited him in prison as well, to let him know that he forgave him for what he did to him. But he is blind in one eye, and he started an organization of World Without Hate. And so we've had him be our guest speaker in the past. And they just completed a movie, a full-length movie that I'm going to try to see if we can actually show it here on Atlantic Institute. Like we can watch it and then have a conversation about it. But very moving conversation. Thinking about kindness, that's like very, very far into kindness, to be able to forgive somebody that was so enraged at what was going on in the world that they just took it out on whoever else might have matched the description of somebody that might have been a terrorist, and beat them up and left them for dead. So it was quite a powerful thing to hear him speak. Let me just see. Oh yeah, MB says he's from Bangladesh. Thank you. Apron. Thank you, Karen. It was a while ago. I don't look at this all the time, but I could not get the word apron out. Right. So those are some of the dinners that we do for certain things like that.
There was also the story of there was a shooting at the Amish elementary school, and I don't know, I can't remember how many children were killed, but the Amish came to the house of the mother of the shooter because they knew that she needed comfort too. And I thought that was an outstanding act of generosity to
Yeah,
come and,
absolutely.
include the mother of the shooter.
Yeah,
because
I would think so.
grieving.
So this was us last weekend. So we set up a table downtown in Greenville, and we gave out samples of food in honor of Ramadan. And we gave out bottled water and food. You know how many people stopped for a free bottled water? It's crazy how many people will just stop for a free bottle of water. And so these were some of the guys that stopped and got samples. I had a pretty good line going. I kept everybody busy over there by calling people in. So this was downtown Greenville, and then this was the dinner we had, the iftar dinner we had at our bed and breakfast that Tosca attended. So we had over 60 people there. We had quite a full meal. There was Tosca. And then this was last year's iftar. I will show you. We did downtown Greenville again. No. Where's the other pictures? I don't want to go through all those. Said I saw them over here. But well, anyway, that was last year's. Oh, here it is. I knew it was here. So this was one of the other dinners. But here, this family was interviewed last year for the news. This was what we did last year. We had baklava, we had other plates of food that we could give out, because when any of the Muslims that were there volunteering, when sunset came and they needed to break their fast, we had their food for them. So we again did samples of, we do a sample of baklava, a date, and a stuffed grape leaf. And then we have the news that comes out usually. These are pieces of art we've sold. We've had auctioned off. So just to kind of give you some ideas of some things, like if you have an idea, oh, we did this a couple of years ago. We actually said to people, if you have an idea of a way that you would like to do something, but you don't know what to do, you don't know how to start it, contact us. Contact me and let us know. Contact Tosca, let us know, because we'll actually are here in to help you figure out how to do that. Because what we really do want is to spread understanding, is to spread kindness, is to spread love and compassion to others. So if you're on here and you have a thought of something that'd be neat to do, to like give out to people, to give away, to this right here. Last year, I had the idea of doing a coat drive, not a coat drive. I did this. I collected ear warmers, gloves, hot hands, and socks and beanies. And I was on the news. It was a horrible picture, but I was on the news and collected, even we gave out cups of coffee before with a piece of Turkish delight. So you can give out a cup of coffee and a cookie to somebody going down the street. Okay. So, I collected these from the community, and I had places around Greenville that had a box collecting these items. And then we sorted them all at our bed and breakfast. And then somewhere in here, I have a picture of that. And then I brought them to like 4 of the different homeless shelters, and we donated them like in the month of, we'd usually do that in November. It's something to be thankful for. And so it was called to share the warmth is what it was called. And so we donated those to people in those areas. And it was very much appreciated, and there was an overwhelming, it was great, the response that we got. So and over here in Hartwell, Georgia, where I live, I actually collected 500 coats, and then had a night opened at one of the cities, opened up their community rooms, and we had all the coats organized: men's coats, women's coats, kids coats, light coats, heavy coats. And we let families come in, and for like 2 or 3 nights in a row, we had families that came in and they picked up more than 1 coat because we had plenty. And then the coats that were left, I actually boxed up and sent up to Greenville, because I have a friend there that is a Red Cross volunteer. And what they do is they take each coat and they stuff gloves and socks and mittens in gloves and socks and like hats in the pockets. And then they walk around downtown Greenville and they hand them to anybody that's homeless and go, here, are you cold? Would you like a coat? And they hand them out to people. So, I mean, we've done a lot of different things that if you had a thought on something that you'd like to do, to help spread kindness for this year, to help try to turn some of this around, because this is a rough year for a lot of people. Let us know, because we will most definitely help you with your project and help you, do some of the legwork for it, like virtually, like that we can do. So, and get you set up so that you can have a successful project, because you don't need to wait on an organization to do it. Sometimes you can just take the leap and do it. But we know that that's not easy for a lot of people because they're not organizers to put things together. So if you need the help, we can help you do that. All right.
Is excellent.
I'm done speaking, I think. So thanks for parting that, Tabitha. Yes, I'm done speaking now. So if anybody has any thoughts or questions, feel free. I'm just looking to see if there's anything else. If anybody else has any thoughts or questions. Yeah, he's Muslim. And yes, it was the wife. Yes. If anybody else has thoughts or questions that they'd like to share, speak now or forever hold your peace.
But don't hold your kindness back.
Don't hold your kindness.
So this is Karen. I just wanted to tell you about this great idea for this woman that I work for. It's a company and it's called Petals Please. So what she does is everybody kind of knows her now. Her name's been out. But if they have a funeral or a wedding, what they do is they'll donate the flowers, and then we take the flowers and make arrangements, and we give it to hospice patients. We have this thing called, take them a meal. So people that are getting a meal will get some flowers, some hospitals, a lot of retirement, elderly people homes. We go there a lot. So that's just an idea that I'm involved with, like an organization I'm involved with. So
Yes, love that.
yeah, it's amazing. Like it's amazing what joy it brings to people. Really is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Actually, what we did a couple of Mother's Days in a row, Walmart donated flowers to us, and we took 40 long-stemmed roses. We figured out, we picked a nursing home and asked how many residents they had, and usually it was how many women they had and as residents, and we went around and gave on Mother's Day and gave all of them each a long-stemmed rose.
I bet that meant a lot. Yeah.
They loved it. All right, so Tabitha is asking, what was the name of that again?
Oh, it's called Petals, Please.
And then Lynn was saying, just a thought at Christmas for toy donations, many donations that come in are for very young children, but people need to be reminded that to buy toys and donations aimed at older children, which is very true, I will tell you. And I know it's really tough to find things for older kids, but it is possible. I mean, I've always fostered teen girls, and I mean, we got plenty of shampoos and lotions, conditioners, and lotions, because sometimes some people don't know what else to find. But there is other things that they actually do like, and that you can kind of shop around for and find. Oh, there you go. Yes, the main idea, John said, is the concept of randomness. If we can simply be available to help however as we can at random times, like the kind person who helps someone change their tire. Yes, exactly. Or like jump starting the cars that I've jump started recently, you know. So it's like seeing when you can fill a need, and just it's easy, just go do it. Yeah, anybody else have
My sister bought a dozen roses and then went around and put one on 12 different cars one day, just on the car.
Yep. Yep. Very sweet. Very sweet. Very kind. Sometimes, you know, you're just driving around and you're like, God, you know, it'd just be great if like I had like a gift. Somebody could just like even drop off dinner. Like so where we live, I will tell you where we live, the food does not get delivered. We are like outside the zone. And so I had tried one day, we had a lot of stuff we were working on. I really couldn't stop and cook. We just wanted to get pizzas delivered, and it was not happening. And I ended up calling, I had like 3 friends. I'm like, hey, you know, can you go pick up pizza and pick up an extra one? I'll buy it. And then you can just come over here and we can have some pizza real quick. And they were busy. They were busy. And finally I had a friend that said, well, we're in the other town over, we're on our way back. And she ran in the grocery store. She grabbed pizzas and salad, and she stopped by the house and dropped off frozen pizzas and salad. And I was like, you know how like much that really helps out here? Like that, just, you know. And I paid her for it, but it was just like that she was able to, like, you know what, they couldn't sit there and wait at like a pizza place 20 minutes. You know, we had one time our well, not 2 years ago, we had that ice, all that coldness. Our well, the pump, the foot of our well broke. The rubber was old, and we actually had a neighbor down the road that had he had the extra part, he had that extra piece. He came over Christmas Day and we fixed the well, and he just gave us the part, you know. So it's like those random acts of kindness of like help. I think we experience that. Like, I'm in the country, so we do experience that a little bit more, like where agriculturally wise, like, you know, like someone has a tractor, they're going to come plow part of your field to help you turn it into a garden, you know. And sometimes they might say, I don't want anything, maybe a couple of zucchini or something if you have anything extra, you know. But where I'm at, I'm not so much in the city anymore. There's a lot of people out here that will help one another and just help take care of this or take care of that for us, which is a really nice thing to experience. Anybody else in here have a random act of kindness they'd like to unmute and share? I know you have had to experience some kind of kindness.
Well, then we should go out and start being kind right now.
All right, listen, I'm gonna put my email.
Oh,
My email is in the chat here. If you come up with something that you think would be neat to have done in your area, or if you come up with something that you think would be, this is me extending an act of kindness, all right? Because organizing these things is like one of my passions. So if you come up with something, let and you need help, let me know what it is. Even if it's help just sharing and advertising it in your area, right? So would love to help organize anything like that. All right, and then we have Tabitha in Colorado. She's one of our independent dialogue coordinators that's on here. We have Tosca in Alabama. She's one of our independent dialogue coordinators. So if you are in those little areas, we can work with them to work with you to help create something that is giving in kind that you can do for others. All right. Thanks, Karen. I think sometimes I'm holding it all together. Okay, but we all cannot finish until that pile of wood is gone. I think it's almost gone that they are doing outside because I don't want to haul any more firewood. So, somebody share. Tosca, give me something else that has happened for you as a random act of kindness.
Oh, almost like all of the time things happen to me. Like, I mean, just the fact that somebody will let me go ahead of them when I only have one thing in the grocery store, and like
That
smiling.
honestly, yeah, that
I
is the true measure, I
thought,
think, of somebody. If you look back at somebody and you could see you have 12 items and somebody has one, and you just think for a second, they ran in here for one thing and they're getting out, So, to,
just like smiling at people,
right.
especially somebody who is not smiling, and just a simple smile, or, I don't know, sometimes when you're eating out, and I have 5 children, so I tried not to be guilty of this, but in a restaurant, when they're crying and you haven't finished food and they're all, to like entertain the kid a little
Right.
bit. They're always interested in strangers, and, you can take a couple seconds and play with the kid, and, just whatever your heart tells you to do, for somebody
Yeah.
else. That maybe our purpose on earth is to give. And if we kept that in mind, and I also believe that we should leave the world better than what we found it in any way that we can. So, we just have to do what we're capable of doing. And I really think, and I want to emphasize, being kind to yourself is an important concept too. I mean, you got
Yeah.
to know when to say no, and, give what you can, and not, deprive. I have a hard time. For example, I have a lot of rescue dogs, and, they need kindness too, donate
Yeah, absolutely.
blankets, and, you know, just donate love and kindness. And I think we'll all just be better. And, I was reading about the Buddhists and what, the Dalai Lama and all that they say is that, sometimes, like, try not to say a harsh word or to think harshly. And sometimes it's just better to stay silent and not say those harsh words. And that can be kind of kind to yourself, because, it takes away from your good mental health when, you know, you're not kind. So, and
Yeah.
again, I think it's something you just have to practice and consciously do. And I think then it becomes kind of natural. And I think you always have to have cookies, because that is a true act of kindness.
So Susan, I love that your church recycles the altar flowers into smaller bouquets to deliver to the shut-ins. That's very nice. That's very cool that they do that. Um, I like that. And Lynn, you made me think of there's a Ingles here in Hartwell, and there's a little old lady that's a cashier. Her name is Janice. And last week I was going through the line with my son, and he wanted one of those pieces of candy right in the checkout line. And I was like, nope, you're gonna get that in your Easter basket from your grandma. Nope, we're not buying that. We don't need any more sugar. Nope. I mean, he just kept saying, please, please. And she said, let me just buy it for him, ma'am. Let me just buy it for him. And she said, yeah, I'm a grandma. And I was like, okay, all right. I said, yes, I said, well, but you're not here to work to buy stuff for everybody. And I was like, it's really okay. And she was like, just let me. And I said, okay, all right, go ahead. So it was very sweet of her. She's like, it's just 95 cents. I think it was, or 80 cents, 88 or something like that. And I said, okay, go ahead. All right, that's fine. And then I have the special needs boy that was with me yesterday in the store. He was buying something and it was $20.06 and he didn't have the 6 cents. He gave her like a 20 and a 5. So instead she just took out her wallet and took out 6 cents and put it with the $20. And I was just like, she's such a sweetheart. I'm thinking now I'm going in my mind like I'm gonna have to do something nice for her and bring her something because she's working her job and she is putting money out of her own pocket for different things, to get things for other people. So I'm like, I'm gonna have to do something to go give it to her because I said, you're not working the cashier job to buy stuff for others. You need to take care of your own bills too. But I know that makes her feel good, you know. But she's very sweet to do that because not everybody's able to know $20.06 means you'll get, money back. Coffee and cookies for a break. Yes. Yeah, I have to come up with something nice to give her. So anybody have anything else that they've done that they could think of or something? If anybody on here would like to do even a share the warmth thing in the fall, let me know because I know I can help organize that and put that together in the different areas that you live in. But I would love to get a head start on that, and build some connections and networks for what that could work for in your area. So it's like letting me know a little bit earlier in advance would be great. Anyway, anything else? Anything last minute? Yes, Karen. Yeah, and I find that a lot of churches actually do that. And I find when I do it publicly, there are a lot of people that don't go to churches that actually enjoy being able to participate in something as well. So, because we have some churches around here. When I did the coat drive, believe it or not, there was 1 or 2 churches that were very upset that I was doing a coat drive for the general public because that's something that their church does. And so they felt I was taking all of the donations, anything that somebody would donate. But oddly enough, even in a small town, not everybody hears about it when you just do something on social media. Um, so, um, so there's people that are reached in many different avenues of communication, which was interesting to learn about. So, anything else that anybody could think of or like to share that they have done in the past or that a kind deed that has been done for them? Otherwise, we have been on here for about an hour, and I think we are good to go and be free for the rest of our afternoon on Saturday.
Be
And you
kind.
too, Tabitha. Anything else? Anything else you want to say to wrap up, Tabitha? No, not you. Well, I'm at Tosca. I'm gonna finish my coffee.
That's it. I'm so glad everybody, I think we can change the world by kindness. So appreciate everybody coming and participating. And again, any ideas, shoot them over to one of us.
You can totally drop your email in the chat chat there, Tosca.
Yeah, I just tried to do that. I think I did. Maybe under yours. I don't know what's wrong with mine. It's not working good.
You're gonna pull up that meeting group chat, that blue bar right there, and you're going to click it, and it's gonna give you a list of everybody in there or meeting group chat that you can put put your email in. All right. Thank you all. I appreciate y'all for being on here. Thank you, Tosca, for coming up with a great topic to have a discussion on. I appreciate it.
Thank you. I'm glad we did this.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you, Tabitha. I love having you on here. It's great to have you on here. And thank you, John and Justin, for being on here and being so supportive. All right. I'm going to go ahead. There you go, Tosca. That was it. That's how you got that email in there. I'm going to go ahead and stop recording.
All right.